backstory here is that I cut out all the plants from my diet and basically ate meat, organs, and fat for close to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, I wrote the Carnivore Code, got interested in this carnivore diet, got interested in the potential for some plant foods to trigger autoimmunity in some people, which is kind of
This is Paul Saladino, and he's the writer of the Carnivore Code, and his book is all about unlocking the secrets to optimal health by following a carnivore script.
Residency that spurred me to think about this idea, like, are all plants good for all people?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of these ideas around the carnivore diet. Now, the end of that story, or the next chapter of the story, was about 2 years into the carnivore diet. I started noticing persistence of unpleasant symptoms. So testosterone dropped to around 500 total, sleep disturbances, palpitations, muscle cramps when I was surfing or climbing. And I started to think, okay, maybe long-term ketosis is not great for me. And I was definitely in ketosis at the time, monitoring blood ketones with a meter, not deep ketosis, but definitely ketosis. And so at that point, I started to dig into the research a little bit more and understood that insulin signaling is critical at the level of the kidney to hold on to minerals, to hold on to potassium, calcium, sodium, chloride, magnesium, and that in long-term ketosis in most humans, you're going to become so electrolyte depleted that it's almost impossible to resolve that with enormous amounts of electrolytes, right? You can take all of the electrolytes you want. You can do so much salt. Your body's really not going to be able to hold on to those without some sort of an insulin signal at the level of the kidney. I've experienced this. Tons of people experience this with long-term ketosis. So at that point, I had to really kind of look at what I was doing and make this sort of learning judgment that long-term ketosis was not a great thing for me and probably not a great thing for most humans. And at that point, I added honey and then fruit to my diet, and it's been an evolution since then for probably the last 3 years.
I generally recommend to be a little bit skeptical when a professional claims that there is the only one way to optimize your health through nutrition. Buyer beware. Nutrition isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. It will be individualized and it will be based on your preferences and goals.